after college, di ba? Kasi talagang nakakakabayan talaga. Ano ba yung pwedeng mangyari sa atin after college, okay? Ano ba yung mga susunod na chapter sa buhay natin, di ba? What's next? How will you survive, no? Now, ngayon wala na kayong allowance na matatanggap sa inyong mga parents. Tapos makukuha nyo ba yung mga trabaho ninyo na gusto ninyo? Makakapag-apply talaga kayo at matatanggap sa trabaho na ina-aspire ninyo after graduation. And natatanong din natin talaga, no? Magiging successful ba tayo talaga? And that's actually really a question na parating tinatanong ng ating mga college students. Ayan, okay. At syempre, ang isa sa mga importante din na kailangang tanungin ay, makikita nyo pa ba yung mga kaibigan nyo ulit? Will you ever see your friends and classmates again? Nako, separation anxiety po ang tawag dyan. And what can you do now able to survive adulting, di ba? Katakot-takot na responsibility ang magkakaroon kayo once you step out the four walls of Lasal. Kaso virtual ngayon yung walls natin. Kaya medyo mas mahirap. Okay, so let me start by sharing to you the financial life stages. Okay, so sa financial life stages natin, if you take a look at this, kayo ay mukhang nandito pa lang sa less than 21 years old, which means that you are in the pre-startup stage, di ba? And ang ibig sabihin niyan, kapag kayo ay nasa pre-startup stage, talagang nagsisimula pa lang, no? Hindi pa nagsisimula ang inyong financial life. And that means actually parang advantage yan now that you will be hearing what I'm about to tell you, because you will have a head start when you prepare for your finances when you step out, no? When you graduate. Hopefully, makagraduate talaga kayo sa Lasal, no? Kasi alam ko marami atang sa batch ng sister ko, parang sabi niya ay marami namang gumagraduate pero marami din na-delay. Ayan. So, sana hindi kayo matulad sa mga na-delay. Okay? So you are here, no, at the pre-startup stage, and nagpo-progress talaga yan, but I'd like to focus on you here, no? Wala pa kayong passive income, which means income that is income that you earn even if you don't work. Pero that's understandable kasi pataas pa lang naman yan ng pataas as you move along your financial life stage. Okay. So here are some of my tips for young adult. Number one is to embrace who you are. So kailangan nyo po talaga na yakapin at tanggapin ang inyong sarili, no? Sa tingin, ilang taon na ako? Sige nga, i-chat nyo nga. There are about 64 participants out there sa atin ngayon dito sa Zoom natin. Hulaan nyo nga kung ilang taon na ako bago ko ipakita kung ilang taon na ako. Ang makakahula ng aking edad ay papadalhan ko ng libro. Ayan, no? I have a book here. It's Learning Wealth, Successful Strategies in Money Management. Nyo ang aking edad bago ko ipakita ay wow, ang taray naman. 28 talaga. Thank you very much. 28, 31, 32, 30, 35. Oh my God. Totoo ba yun? I'm so happy, no? Ganyan ang tingin ninyo sa akin. Okay. Sige, time is up. I am unfortunately 42 years old already, no? 42 years old na po ako. And oh my God, so at 42 years old, what have I achieved already? So in 2015, nabigyan tayo ng recognition ng Ernst & Young, one of the four auditing firms, as a finalist as Entrepreneur of the Year Awards. Naku, mga atin dyan dati, kaya talagang hindi natin makukuha, no? So we were under the social enterprise category. Another big four audit firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers, also gave us a recognition in 2015, and with the National Federation of Cooperatives noong 2017. And then Ateneo, of course, also gave us an award in 2019. Service awards yan for being in service for 15 years in 2019. So I'm already my 17th year. Ang SSF bigay ng parangal bilang ulirang empleyado na nagbibigay ng maayos na benepisyo sa mga employees natin. We have 5 corporations under our group of enterprises. And Pag-IBIG also gave an award. Ito po yung National Savings Program natin. At gaya nabanggit natin kanina, no, ang pang-millennial, zillennial na award. YouTube gave us this one, okay? The Silver Button Award. Ayan, kaya ko pa palang makipag-sabayan sa generation ninyo. Anyway, but before all of that, you know, I was also like you. Naging bata. Nakakagulat pala kung pagkatabi mo yung yung malaki mong picture. So I was also young like you. So let's do a throwback first. So I'd like to share yung mga points ko sa inyo by going through some of my important life events. So this is me celebrating my first day in 1979. Okay? And this is me also, grade 1 picture ito. And I'd like yan ako nabilugan. So para mas makita ninyo, ilapit natin. Ayan, para mas makita nyo. Yan ako, no? Cute, di ba? Di ba? Mighty Kid. Hindi ko alam kung alam niyo yung brand na yan. Pero if you observe how I was, during that time, meron na kayong makukuhang clue sa kung ano talaga yung aking pagkakatao. Kasi lahat sila ay naka-straight, pero ako po ay naka-ganyan. Di ba? Makikita ninyo. Ayan, no? So clue na yan, 'di ba, sa embracing yourself, no? This is my first drink with my dad, pero tignan niyo yung kung paano yung kamay ko. No? Maaga pa lang talagang pumipilantik na. So, hindi ko naman po yan tinatago. No? I'm a very proud member of the LGBT community. And what I am today and what I have achieved today is largely because of my struggles as an LGBT member and also yung pagtanggap ko sa sarili ko. No? So, yun. At a very young age, I think this was about 12 or 13 years old, I was assisting my family members sa aming family. So nabibigyan ako nila mama at papa ng responsibilidad na magbilang sa kaha, kung magkano ang sales, or magbayad, magpasweldo sa mga tao. No? And graduate, ay valedictorian ng slide. Pero ako din po ay ang core commander at that time. So sa class namin. So imagine niyo yung buong batch, Becky, pero core commander, no? So talagang wala yung kung anong kasarian mo, pero way you are able to hold your deliver responsibilities, no? This is also me at 21. It was I graduated at the Ateneo with a degree in business management, no? So meant ako dyan. And like you, I also felt awkward. So may mga panahon talaga na, oh my God, ano ba ako? Becky ba ako? Lalaki ba ako? No, tinry ko mag-girlfriend ha, pero one time yung girlfriend ko, gusto niya akong halikan, hindi ko talaga kaya. So sabi ko, no! Diba? Pero part pala yun ng buhay. It was so awkward, but I had to undergo that to really discover who I am para i-embrace kung sino ako. And that would be very, very important in terms of finances. Kasi syempre, kapag tinanggap mo na yung sarili mo, hindi mo na kailangang patunayan yung sarili mo sa iba. Imagine, had I accepted my at ganun pa rin ako, nagpapanggap pa rin ako na nag-girlfriend, pero at the same time, meron akong boyfriend. O di ang gastos nun, dala-dalawa. Pero ngayon, dahil ako ay tinanggap ko ang aking sarili, stick to one lang. Mas mura, di ba? Tapos ako pa yung binibigyan. O di ba? May earnings pa pag ganun. Ayun. I also struggled with my sexuality. Actually, sa inyo ngayon, medyo mas madali na nga, di ba? Kasi mas open ang inyong generation. And I'm really, really happy your generation is growing up to be way. And like you, I also wondered how my life would be like. Yung actually where I am now, hindi ko ma-imagine nung bata ako na mararating ko pala yan, no? Parang yung imagination ko before was shorter, tapos yung na-achieve ko ngayon was even bigger than what I had imagined before. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because okay lang yan. Nagsisimula tayo lahat. Ang mahalaga ay we start from somewhere and we start with a strong foundation by accepting yourself and loving yourself. No? So kailangan talaga yan. You have to accept and love yourself. Okay. And when you do, you have happiness and peace. Diba? Kapag tatanggapin mo yung sarili mo ay hindi mo kailangang maghanap ng iba para sumaya ka. Hindi kailangan ng iba para makumpleto ka. Kasi ikaw mismo, kumpleto na. Yung mga darating lang sa buhay mo ay bonus. Okay? And with that, you peace of mind, no? And wala talagang walang kapalit yung himping ng tulog na parang sanggol. Okay? And when you also accept yourself, you are able to set your priorities in life, 'di ba? Masasabi mo na mauuna ito, pangalawa ito, pangatlo ito. Kasi nga kilala mo yung sarili mo. Hindi ka lalabas sa nakasama ang mga kaibigan mo dahil may pinag-iipunan ka. Hindi ka gagastos, no? Or hindi ka bibili ng magarang cellphone, no? Para lang mayroon kang sa mga kaibigan mo. You don't need to do those if you know yourself and you are able to set your priorities in life. Kasi hindi ka mapapagastos to prove yourself to others. And you know what I realized dati pa parang, di ba nag-iisip ka na kung sino yung i-impress mo, pero yung mga taong pinag-iimpressan mo na tina-target mo na mai-impress sa'yo, unang-una, wala lang pala yun sa kanila. Tapos, pangalawa, parang it's really a waste, no? Kasi parang sa kanila wala lang yun, pero sa'yo, big deal, di ba? So, really, it's really very important that in finances, you really have to know yourself and you have to accept and love yourself. Okay? So the second tip that I want to make to you, to give to you is to make a plan. O, ayan color green yan hindi yan color blue. Yung damit ko lang yung blue, pasensya na. Ayan. So, you have to make a plan, okay? So, bago naman, wala pala tayo online. Pero ito ay, live streamed in my Facebook and YouTube channel. So, kung papanoorin nyo ulit and you like what I'm telling you right now, please tag your friends, no? Para naman mapanood nila. So, in making a plan, you have to visualize your future. When 20 years ago or 22 years ago or even 25 years ago when I was 16 and mga ganyang edad, at iniisip ko ano ba yung binivisualize ko sa sarili ko kung paano ako ngayon. Of course, hindi eksakto na ganitong buhay yung aking na-visualize, pero malinaw in terms of principles. Ang sabi ko, una, gusto kong yumaman, pero ayokong yumaman for the sake of pagyaman lang. Gusto kong may meaning yung pagyaman ko. So nakakatulong pa rin. Hindi katulad ng mga ibang mga tycoons dyan na walang pakundangan kung mag-profit at hindi na tumitigil sa kanilang profitability. Walang satiation sa kanilang profitability. Sa akin malinaw 'yon. Tapos pangalawa, sabi ko, syempre gusto ko na meron akong love life. At pangatlo, kailangan ay napapaligiran ako ng mga mahal ko sa buhay, and that would be my family and my friends. So, you have to visualize your future. And ang ipag-visualize na yan, it really doesn't to be very, very specific. Pero napipicture mo yung broad strokes kung ano yung itsura nun. And write it down. That would really help, no? And don't delay. Start your future today. Kung ano yung maset mo na goals, ay umpisahan mo na ngayon pa lang. Kasi yun nga your richness now is something that we have already spent. And that is time. Nako, napaka-click niyan pero totoo siya. Lagi naming sinasabi, lagi kong naririnig sa mga kaibigan namin ay, dati, ang dami nating oras, pero wala tayong pera. Ngayon naman, may pera, kaso wala tayong oras. But, like for me now, I was able to plan for our finances, mga ganyan, no? We're able to balance that. We have time and we have money, and the right balance is key. Kasi pag masyado namang maraming pera, wala kang oras, para saan yung pera mo, di ba? On the other hand naman, wala kang pera pero marami kang oras, kailangan mong magbanat-banat ng buto at magtrabaho para magkapera, di ba? So, yun. So, save as much as you can. And you have to start saving now. Huwag nyo nang patagalin, Ako, I remember when I graduated from Ateneo, I told my family, my parents, hindi nyo na ako kailangan bigyan ng allowance dahil wait na ako. You have already fulfilled your responsibility, no, to me. So, yun. And pinagkasya ko talaga yung naipon ko during college life. At kinailangan ko talagang magtrabaho agad, no, to be able to have something for my expenses at makapag-ipon. Okay? Set long-term savings goals. So, well, of course, i-balance din natin yan. May mga short victories tayo, may mga small victories that we need to celebrate, pero don't forget about the long-term. So, kami ng partner ko, when we started to live together, ay nagsabi kami na, okay, magko-contribute tayo ng pera natin together. At yan ay para lang sa future natin. And we still do it now, no? Magna 19 years na kami sa July 2021. Nakakaloka. Oh my God, 2 decades next year. Pwede pala yun, may forever, no? Pero noon, ang konti-konti lang, no? 2,500 pesos sa akin, 2,500 pesos sa kanya. We joined it together in our account hanggang sa lumaki ng lumaki. And right now, kapag tinitignan talaga namin yung bank account namin, ay talagang yung ngiti namin ay hanggang hanggang tenga. Kasi palaki lang siya ng palaki. And that's a very assuring and secure feeling. Okay? At ang goal dapat natin sa pagsisave, sasagutin natin, what makes you happy? Ano ba ang nagpapasaya sa iyo? No? Avoid fear of missing out. Nako, makinig talaga kayo sa akin. Ang dami pang panahon. No? Hanggat kaya niyong i-delay ang paggasta, ang pleasure na yan, i-delay ninyo. But of course, you have to balance it with YOLO, no? So you only live once, no? So YOLO is good, but you always have to balance it with YAGO. You also grow old. Okay? So may mga bagay na, for example, ay hindi ko alam kung relevant pa ba ang prom ngayon sa inyo, kung meron kayo niyan, so you go ahead in your prom kasi once in a lifetime lang yan. Pero if you spend your life savings, yung lahat ng pinag-ipunan mo to your dress para sa prom na yan, baka naman hindi siya ganun ka-practical. So balance YOLO with YAGO, 'di ba? So, yun. Or bibili ka ng branded na wallet pero mauubos na yung pera mo, wala nang laman yung wallet mo, di ba? So, dapat talaga ay balance siya. Okay? Number 3 is never stop learning. So, special request ng mga nagsulat sa akin ay tungkol sa budgeting. So, ito ang budgeting rule na dapat nasusundin ninyo, ha? So, ang budgeting rule natin, kapag kayo ay kumikita pa lang ng less than 20,000, nako, yung atenista, di ba, na nag-viral na tinanggihan yung 37,000 pesos ba yun na sweldo kasi ang expectation niya ay 60,000. Well, hindi ko siya hinuhusgahan pero marami siguro siyang dahilan. Pero ako, when I first had my work, no, I was a volunteer. The minimum wage at that time was 5,500 pesos, but I accepted a job that only gave me 4,500 pesos in allowance. And why did I accept that? Because malinaw sa akin ang priorities at tinignan ko, ano ba yung matututunan ko sa trabaho na yan rather than sa sweldo? Because malinaw sa akin nasa ko, gusto kong magtayo ng sarili kong business. And I want to learn the of doing the business first before putting up my own. So yung sweldo ay hindi yun yung habol ko. Ang habol ko ay yung learning kung paano magtayo ng business. Kaya ang sweldo sa akin at that time was not very important. What was more important, what was a priority was to get my network, knowledge, and skills in doing the business. Okay? So, yun, 4,500. So, mas mababa sa minimum wage yung tinanggap ko noon. So, kapag kayo ay tumanggap ng less than 20,000 pesos na sweldo when you graduate, ito ang inyong budgeting rule, ha? Ito yung susundin ninyo. 5% of the 20,000, you use that for insurance premium. But I'm assuming na wala kayong mga dependents, so get health insurance, okay? Hindi life insurance. Because if you don't have dependents, you don't need life insurance. Pag may anak na kayo na magiging dependent sa inyo, dun nyo lang kailangan ng life insurance. So health insurance ang bilhin nyo para pag kayo nagkasakit, hindi na kayo kailangan kumatok sa mga magulang ninyo, and the insurance card will be able to cover for that. Okay? 10% naman ng inyong kinikita, so that's 2,000 pesos, no? Kung 20,000. Yan yung lalagay nyo sa savings. Yung 85%, yan yung pagkakasyahin ninyo na panggastos. At yung 85% na yan, kapag kayo ay, if you're going to stay with your parents, you have to shell out share to the house, bills, utilities, sa pagkain. Hindi po pwedeng libre. Okay? Kung libre nyo na makukuha yan, itabi ninyo, idagdag ninyo sa savings. Okay? And that is for you to practice independence. Okay? Once you earn greater, so 85% ay expenses. So, and once you earn greater than 20,000 pesos per month, magiging ganito na siya. 5% for insurance, 15% for savings, 20% investments. So you have to opt for investment at a very early stage. And you start with the simplest simplest investment. So mag-open kayo ng Pag-IBIG MP2 or join kayo ng cooperatives or mag-open kayo ng rural bank time deposit. At 60% yung pagkakasyahin nyo sa panggastos. Date sa girlfriend or boyfriend, panggala, pang travel or whatever. Doon lahat yan sa 60%. But you always have to have budget for insurance, savings, and investments. Okay? So, yun. At kailangan nyo talagang i-master ang pag-control sa spending, no? Kasi marami ginagawa retail therapy, di ba? Ngayon, sa inyo kasi add to cart, di ba ang tawag? Add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. Kaya ako, I really want to train you to use cash rather than plastic cards or even mobile money. Kasi iba yung in psychology na pag-anuhan na yan, yung pleasure ay yung pain ng spending ay less kapag ang ginamit natin ay swiping at saka mga digital tools. Mas ramdam natin yung sakit ng paggastos kapag cash ang ginamit natin. So that's one tip. So as much as possible, maging cash muna tayo, no? Yun yung gagawin natin. Okay, and then you also have to create your passive income. And passive income, ako, no, it was very early for me. Ang una kong naging passive income ay interest from time deposit. And then at 26 years old, I had my rental property. Tapos other passive income would be capital gains, royalties, pension, no? So yun yung mga, and dividends also, very important din pala yun. Okay? And then you also have to know about time value of money. That the peso you have now is more has higher value compared to 1 peso that you will have after 10 years. Magkaiba yon because of inflation. So you have to understand what time value of money is, what net present value is, what future value is, and what present value is. Okay? Because time is literally gold, no? Ako, sa totoo lang, bibili talaga ako ng oras kung nabibili yan. Unfortunately, hindi talaga no? Kaya, you also have to think na yung mga oras na ginugugol nyo sa mga kabulastugan with your friends is time spent that you can no longer recover. Baka naman po pwedeng yung ibang time dyan ay gamitin ninyo into a more productive activities so that you can have more earnings and you can save and invest. Okay? You also have to learn about bookkeeping, lalong-lalo na kapag kayo ay mag-business. Paglilista lang, no, pag-journal ng mga lumalabas at pumapasok na pera, very basic na yon. Tapos, tinanong sa akin, credit cards. So, very important yan. You should know how credit works kasi yan ang isa sa mga malaking preno sa ating pag-ariba sa financial independence. Okay? So you have to be very careful with credit cards, no? My rule is you are only allowed to use a credit card if and only if you can pay that credit card in full. Kapag hindi mo kayang bayaran yung statement balance ng credit card mo every statement date, you do not deserve to have a credit card. You don't know how to use a credit card. Okay? Never carry a balance in your credit card. Dapat kapag anong lumabas dyan na due, mababayaran mo siya at zero balance ulit siya. No? So, ganun ang gamit ng credit card. Credit card is not a good source of credit because it is very, very expensive. Okay? So, yon. And then, tinanong din sa akin, ano ba yung debit card? No? So yung credit card, umuutang ka doon. Yung debit card is actually, imagine your ATM that you can use as a credit card, but when you swipe it, ang mababawasan yung savings account mo. Now, marami ang nagpupush na gumamit tayo ng debit card online. Please avoid that kasi napakalaki ng security risk. What's the difference? Kapag kasi kinaskas mo, ginamit mo online ang credit card mo at fraudulent yung activity, no, na phishing ka or no whatever ka, may credit card company na sasalo noong risk bago ikaw. Okay? Kapag tayo kasi dito sa kapag sa debit card ang tinignan natin, diretso yan agad na makukuha dun sa bank account natin. At walang incentive yung bangko na tulungan ka para bawiin yung pera mo kapag nagkaroon ng online problem doon sa transaction mo. So never debit cards online. And also never use credit card, never swipe your credit card. Okay? So wag natin siyang isa-swipe din. So kahit na kahit na personal natin siya na nakukuha, 'di ba? Yung kunwari punta ka sa sa store tapos isa-swipe mo yung debit card mo. It's not safe kasi yung debit card mo diretso na yan agad doon sa savings account mo. Okay? So the only time that you use your debit card is when you withdraw in ATMs. That's the only time that you use it. Okay? So, yun. To protect your identity and to be secure with your transactions, use debit cards. Kapag online, yan, kukuha ka dapat ng credit card para meron tayong layer of risk, pero you only use it kung kaya mong bayaran in full. Kung hindi mo kayang bayaran in full, ay dapat hindi mo yan ginagamit. Okay? So, very practical yung mga tinuturo ko. Sana ay matutunan ninyo. So, just to summarize, mga action points na nagagawin ninyo. So, here are your action points. Number 1, open a bank account. And I would suggest na mag-open kayo ng account din sa mga cooperatives because when we open accounts with the cooperatives, we help the local economy. Kapag mga commercial banks kasi, yung mga tycoons ang natutulungan natin, ang dami-dami ng pera ng mga yon, di ba? Also, get information about your household expenses. Talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your sister, your brother, no? At tanungin nyo makialam kayo ano bang ginagastos, magkano yung ginagastos pang grocery. Magugulat kayo kung magkano, no? So that you get a sense of how much you will be spending kapag kayo na mismo will stand on your own. As early as now, I suggest that you apply for your TIN number, tax identification number with the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Kumuha na kayo ng SSS, Pag-IBIG at saka PhilHealth numbers ninyo para kapag kayo ay mag-apply for employment, ready na ang documents. Okay? Tapos, i-cut nyo na yung credit card extension. Kasi hindi siya magandang hindi siya magandang security. Hindi siya magandang practice for you to build your own financial habits. It creates dependence. Okay? Research on employment prospects as early as now. Ano ba yung gusto mong maging after? So if it's employment, mas madali mo siyang matatarget kung ano yun, kung gusto mo talagang to go up the corporate ladder. Pero kung gusto mo na you want to put up your own business, I suggest that you get employed from a similar business so that you learn how it works first before putting up your own. Okay? And then, of course, build your network, own your relationships. Yung mga ka-chat nyo ngayon ay magiging engineers, doctors, or kung ano man sila in the future, magiging kami nga, yung sa kabatch namin ay di ba? Naging senador, di ba? So, you never know, no? Yung mga kabiruan mo lang ngayon ay baka maging congressman yan or kung ano man. So, value the relationships that you have now, alagaan ninyo, and never burn bridges. Okay? So make your dreams come true. So katulad ako, no? This is our house right now. So it's a comfortable life and you can choose your happiness. So this is me sponsoring my whole family. My partner and I sponsored our whole family to go on vacation pre-pandemic to Europe for 3 weeks. Kami may gastos nun, di ba? At syempre, kanina ko pa sinasabi na meron akong partner, alam ko na kating-kati kayong makita. Ito po, no? So we have been together 19 years and we're both teachers, lecturers in Ateneo. Okay? So don't forget to tag your family friends. Ay, Lasal din pala siya. Oo nga, nagtuturo din pala siya. Nandito siya. Tuturo din pala siya sa Lasal. So, that's it. I hope you learned a lot. Ako si Sir Vince, ang nagsasabing ang pagyaman na pag-aaralan at na pagtutulungan. And I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you for that, Mr. Vince Rapisura. We will now have an open forum where students may ask questions to the speakers that will be facilitated by our moderator, Ms. Kay Saito.
Thank you, Bea. Good afternoon, Mr. Vince Rapisura. Thank you very much once again for joining us today. I am Kay Saito, the Director for Professional Development, and I will be moderating today's open forum session. For our audience, if you have any questions, please address them in the public chat box found at the bottom panel of your screen. I am sure you have learned a lot from our speaker because I certainly have. So if you have clarifications or questions regarding the topic, we are giving you the opportunity to ask them. And we have our first question. So what is the most relatable obstacle when it comes to budgeting and saving? What is your best piece of advice on how the average person can overcome this?
Yeah, so can you repeat that again? What's the most...
What is the most relatable obstacle when it comes to budgeting and saving? And what is your best piece of advice on how the average person can overcome this?
Well, you know, really, kapag budgeting ang pinag-uusapan, it's really more on controlling your spending, di ba? So, and as I mentioned a while ago, ang pinaka-practical talaga dyan is to know who you are. Know what makes you happy, di ba? And if you know what makes you happy, you can set your limits and you'll be able to crack your budget out of that. But you always also have to remember na the budget equation has two sides. One is decreasing your expenses and the other one is increasing your income. And kung mapagsasabay mo itong dalawang ito, that's the fastest way for you to accumulate savings and be able to invest.
Thank you for that insightful answer, sir. I'm sure our audience has learned a lot from that. So for our next question, how can you financially prepare or save up now during the time of the pandemic? What type of mindset should we develop or adopt?
Yeah. So really, it's a very challenging time, no, ngayong pandemic. So as I mentioned a while ago, it's two things: pababain yung expenses or look ways to increase your income. So for you as a student, I think the most obvious one is to not to spend, diba? So iwasan natin yung pag-add to cart na yan. Ang ano ko talaga, the principle that I go by in terms of savings is this one. No? Ito yung definition ng savings that I follow. Savings is the postponement of the pleasure of spending. What does that mean? Yung savings daw, i-postpone mo lang siya, nagsisave ka na. So i-postpone mo lang yung spending, no? And it says there is pleasure in spending. At totoo naman yan, di ba? When you go out and buy new clothes for you, you spend for that. When you go out, friends, hindi nyo masyadong nagagawa ngayon, or kung nag-iinuman kayo sa Zoom, ganyan, you spend for that, that's pleasurable. So make that pleasure your inspiration and motivation to save and invest para magkatotoo siya.
Thank you for that insightful answer, sir. Personally, I have a guilty pleasure with spending din po, so I'll make sure to take note of that. So for our next question, is the current minimum wage in the Philippines livable? For a low-income family, the expenses usually outweigh the income. What is your advice for these people in order to have money to save and invest?
Yeah, it's really true, no? Na parang yung minimum wage natin ngayon ay napaka-impossible, no? Or hindi comfortable yung buhay na naibibigay niya to have a comfortable life. Pero that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that we should stop finding ways on how to save or how to increase our income. So kami, for example, we operate a microfinance program. Ang ginagawa pa rin namin is kahit na maliit yung kinikita ng mga communities na tinutulungan namin, we still teach them how to save, no? So it's two-pronged. we have to create employment to increase their income, and the other one is also to teach households how to save. At kasi yun yung household level is the personal side in terms of our in terms of our financial standing. And then on the community side naman is asking our government to create an enabling environment so that businesses can thrive and employment would be available para magkaroon ng income. So, yun, you still have to follow the budgeting rule that I said. No? Kung less than 20,000, which is yan yung minimum wage natin, 5% for insurance and 10% for savings pa rin yung itatabi. At pipilitin na pagkasyahin yung 85% sa expenses. Pero not to the detriment na magiging, parang mamamatay ka na or whatever. Of course, tao pa rin yung mauuna. So that's the budgeting rule that I mentioned a while ago for lower income groups is very, very relevant.
Thank you for that helpful answer, sir. I'm sure that when we follow the budget plans, we will be able to know how to retirate our money to our investments or savings. So for our next question, how many months of salary do we need for our safety net?
Okay, so that's what we call emergency savings. Ang ganda ng tanong ha. Your target should be equivalent to, your emergency savings should be equivalent to 9 times your monthly expenses or 6 times your monthly income. And based on our studies, usually na-achieve yan within 18 to 24 months when you start working. So yun dapat yung una yung maging goals. Magkaroon ng emergency savings tapos kumuha ng health insurance.
Thank you for that answer, sir. For our next question, what should we prioritize first? Emergency fund or investments po?
Of course, emergency fund. Kasi yung foundation for a good financial habit natin starts with savings discipline and then investment, investment discipline tapos credit discipline. So mauuna talaga yung savings discipline. And with that comes controlling spending. Kasi di ba, yung pagsisave natin, malaking portion then is to be able to control our expenditures.
Thank you for that helpful advice, sir. For our next question, in terms of family in relation with finances, at the age of 42, do you have any plans of having a child or adopting a child? If yes, do you have any financial tips for millennials or zillennials in having their own family in the future?
Ayun, nako, yung partner kong may gusto talaga na mag-adopt ganyan. Pero ako very clear kasi with my lifestyle, especially before the pandemic, I really like to travel for work and for pleasure. At sabi ko, if I keep that lifestyle, kawawa naman yung bata, 'di ba? Parang ako nga hindi ko maalagaan yung sarili ko, mag-aalaga pa ako ng iba. So, it was very clear to me na ako yung magiging favorite tito ng mga pamangkin ko because really I spoil them to death. No, that's very, very clear yon sa akin. And I asked my sisters kasi I have 3 sisters at sabi ko talaga na okay, so this is my role ha. So therefore they're with me for a week or 2. I spoil them to death. Bahala na kayo after that. So yon. Pero sa inyo naman, no, if you plan to have your own children in the future, kailangan talaga na maglalaan kayo ng budget for that child. When we did our study, from birth until college, ang bandwidth ng cost ng isang child ay 2 million pesos to 14 million pesos. Depende kung saan mo siya gustong paaralin at saan siya magsistay, mga ganyan. So, yung basic na sabihin natin maging mapalad siya na makapasa sa UP, magka-college, ganyan. That's 2 million pesos adjusted for inflation from birth until graduation. So, think hard about that kasi hindi talaga biro ang magkaroon ng anak.
Thank you for that insightful answer, sir. But given our time constraints, we will now only be entertaining the last 2 questions. So, sir, do you agree that a fresh grad's first wage should be invested instead of being spent?
Well, it really depends. Kasi spending, marami naman yung pwedeng puntahan. Kasi you can spend for needs or responsibilities or obligations. And you can also spend for frivolous things, no? For wants, ganyan. So, depende on how you use money. So, I think ang mas malinaw dyan dapat ay kung ano ba yung purpose mo. What's the purpose for your investment and what's the purpose for your investment? And if that aligns with your priorities in life, gaya ng sinabi ko kanina, kung aligned ba yan sa loving yourself and accepting yourself and making people around you happy, then go with it, no? So it really doesn't matter. What's important is your purpose. So yun. So savings, spending, if you're spending it for the right reasons, why not? Pero kung kaya mong i-delay yung spending na yan, tapos gamitin mo siya na pang-invest, why not? Basta ang purpose malinaw sa'yo.
Thank you for that insightful advice, sir, while reminding us to always accept ourselves and love ourselves first. So for our last question po, as most of us here are students, what type of passive income do you suggest we do or adopt?
Asset income?
What type of passive income do you suggest we do or adopt po? Yes.
Oo. Naku, para sa mga estudyante, parang mahirap pa siya, no? Ako, I suggest, ang pinakamadali, and don't expect much, ha? Kasi ang passive income, ang tinatarget ko talaga sa kanya, maliit na percentage, but over the years, as you grow old, like me, I'm already 42, yung nasimulan ko ng maliit dati, rumorolyo ng rumorolyo, palaki ng palaki, no? So, I strongly advise for you not to go to the stock market. Nako, huwag kayo magpapaniwala doon. It's not a good investment, okay? It's not a good source of passive income. What I suggest that you do is strive to open a Pag-IBIG MP2 account that will give you 6 to 7% dividend per year. At okay na yun, ha? Matuwa na tayo dyan. Ako nga, ang target ko lang na rate of return every year for my investments is 7%. That's my sweet spot. At pag kinompound mo yun, that will already be a very good rate. So Pag-IBIG MP2, and if you still have extra, you can also explore being a member of a cooperative. Yung share capital mo kasi sa cooperative will earn dividends. And if you also place savings there, it earns interest, and that is also passive income. And kapag sa cooperative tayo naglagay, yaan ay tax-free. So ako talaga is social investments, yan yung pinupush natin. Investments that create income for us, positive returns for us, and also positive impact to the community and the environment.
Thank you for that insightful and helpful advice, sir. So that appears to be the last question for our speaker. Thank you very much for answering all our questions, Mr. Vince Rapisura. And now, I think it's time to go back to you, Bea.
Thank you for that, Kay. We hope that Mr. Vince Rapisura has answered everyone's inquiries. We will now move forward to present RAC PLSU's Certificate of Appreciation to our first speaker. This Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Mr. Vince Rapisura in grateful acknowledgement of the noble sharing of his time and expertise as a guest speaker in Polaris Navigating Financial Literacy, held on May 14, 2021 at Manila City, Philippines. Signed by Ayla Arellano, President of RAC DLSU, and Dr. Crisanto Regadro Jr., Faculty Advisor of RAC DLSU.
Thanks for watching! Kung may kapamilya, kaibigan o kakilala kang tingin mo ay magiging interesado dito sa video, please share to them or tag them in the comments section. Siyempre, kung nagustuhan mo ang video, pusuan mo na ito. Subscribe ka na rin. As always, feel free to write your questions, comments, and opinions respectfully.